When two people break up, there's usually a certain tension that lingers, a distance, a wall. But what happens when that wall suddenly disappears? Recently, Jenny and Angelo posted a TikTok together, and the internet lost its collective mind. The caption read, "Seeing my ex for the first time since we broke up." But here's the thing, the way they embraced didn't look like two people who had called it quits. It looked like two people who had genuinely missed each other. And it wasn't just them. Jenny's mom was in the video too, and judging by how she greeted Angelo, the family clearly hadn't moved on either. The vibes were warm, comfortable, almost intentional. Then Jenny posted another clip, a statement that made everyone do a double take. She said, "We should normalize hard launching being besties with our exes." Now, let's be honest, besties with your ex? That's not exactly the most common arrangement. And fans aren't buying it. Not completely. The comment section is flooded with people asking the same question. Are they friends? Are they dating? Or is all of this just carefully crafted content? One fan put it simply, "Just say you want him back." Another took it way further. "Jenny, I had a dream that you and Angelo had twins together." Yeah, people are invested, deeply invested. But to understand why this reunion is such a big deal and why it's breaking the internet, we have to go back, all the way back to where this started. For months, Jenny and Angelo played a game on TikTok. They'd post videos, they'd drop hints, they'd dance around the subject of their relationship like two people who knew exactly what they were doing. Will they? Won't they? It became the question everyone wanted answered. Then Jenny dropped a YouTube video, a proposal. Not a marriage proposal, but a "will you be my girlfriend" proposal. Angelo asked her to be his girlfriend on camera. It was sweet, genuine, the kind of content that makes you believe in love again. They'd been friends for years, inseparable, dancing, laughing, doing everything together. They promised to stay friends so they wouldn't ruin what they had. But the more time they spent together, the harder that promise became. When he finally asked, it felt like a fairy tale. And then it all fell apart. The breakup came out of nowhere. At least that's what it felt like to fans. But looking back, there were signs. They actually posted a video teasing the breakup before it even happened, which made some people wonder, was this entire thing pre-planned for content? Now, we're not saying it was staged, but the timing was suspicious to say the least. So what actually caused the split? The biggest theory circulating online is that Jenny was getting relentlessly bullied. And when I say bullied, I mean the kind of hate that makes you want to delete social media entirely. Angelo even posted a video defending her, addressing the hate comments head-on. He was frustrated, angry, defensive. He called out the commenters directly, telling them they didn't know the real Jenny. It was raw, emotional, and it painted a clear picture of what was happening behind the scenes. But here's where it gets interesting. The internet pressure started changing Jenny, not just emotionally, physically. At first, it was small things. She started wearing her hair down. Now, that might not sound significant, but she'd worn her hair up her entire online life. The moment she changed it, people noticed instantly. Then her outfits started shifting. Different shirts, different jeans, a whole style evolution happening in real time. And here's the crazy part. People were literally giving her suggestions in the comments, hair ideas, clothing tips, confidence advice, and she actually tried some of them. It was like watching someone mold themselves into what the internet wanted. Eventually, Jenny addressed it directly. She said the changes were for herself, not for Angelo. She wanted to feel better about herself, and if that meant changing her style, so be it. But you have to wonder, would she have made those changes if the internet hadn't been so brutal? It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer. And now, here we are. Jenny and Angelo are back in each other's orbit. The way they look at each other, the way they interact, it doesn't feel like two people who are just friends. If the breakup was real, and there's no reason to believe it wasn't, then there's still something undeniable between them. The chemistry is still there, sparks that refuse to die. But the question remains, are they actually back together, or are they just feeding the content machine? Here's what's interesting. When they first got together, it was this slow burn, months of teasing, months of will they, won't they? And now, history seems to be repeating itself. They're posting videos together again, playful, flirty, just ambiguous enough to keep people guessing. and it's working. The engagement is through the roof. Fans are eating it up. One commenter wrote, "Just get back together already. We're all waiting." Another said, "I miss this couple so much. Please tell me they're back." And then there are the skeptics, the ones who think this is all just performance. Besties with your ex? Yeah, okay. Hard launching being besties? That's a PR move if I've ever seen one. They're just doing this for views. They know what they're doing. The thing is, both perspectives could be true. They could genuinely care about each other. Their chemistry could be real. The love could still be there. And they could also know exactly how to leverage that for engagement. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Because let's be real, if you're in the public eye, every relationship becomes content. Every kiss becomes a clip. Every fight becomes a talking point. Jenny and Angelo know this. They've been in the game long enough to understand how it works. But watching them together, the way they look at each other, that's harder to fake. You don't embrace someone like that unless there's genuine emotion behind it. And the internet can tell. That's why the comments are flooded with people hoping they'll get back together. Because we've seen staged content before. We know the difference. And this doesn't feel staged. Even her mom's reaction feels too natural to be scripted. Whether they're officially dating again or simply testing the waters, something is definitely happening. But there's another layer to this story, the pressure that broke them up in the first place. Jenny was being torn apart online, daily, ruthlessly. Comments about her appearance, her worth, whether she was good enough for Angelo. And Angelo tried to defend her, tried to shield her. But how much can one person really do against an army of anonymous haters? The changes she made, the hair, the outfits, the new style, were they really for herself, or were they a defense mechanism, a way to quiet the noise? When she says she's doing it for herself now, you can hear the exhaustion in her voice. She shouldn't have had to change anything. And that's the heartbreaking part of this whole story. The internet demanded she be different, and she tried. She genuinely tried. And maybe that's why the breakup happened, not because they fell out of love, but because the outside noise became too loud. Now they're back in each other's lives, but the question is, can they survive the noise this time? Because the internet hasn't changed. It's still brutal. It's still judgmental. It's still waiting to tear them apart again. Jenny is still going to get comments. Angelo is still going to feel helpless. But maybe this time they're better prepared. Maybe this time they know what's coming. Or maybe they just don't care anymore. So where do we stand? Are Jenny and Angelo officially back together? That remains unconfirmed, but the evidence is piling up. The videos, the interactions, the way they look at each other. If they're just friends, they're doing a terrible job of acting like it. And the fans, they're already planning the wedding. One person literally had a dream about them having twins. That's the level of investment we're dealing with here. Whether they're rekindling a romance or simply capitalizing on the attention, one thing is clear. Jenny and Angelo know exactly what they're doing. Because in the world of online content, timing is everything. And right now, the timing is perfect. People are watching. People are talking. People are desperately hoping for a happy ending. And maybe they'll give us that happy ending. Maybe the fairy tale isn't over. Or maybe this is just the beginning of a whole new chapter. Either way, the internet is watching, and we'll be right here covering every single moment.